From explosive dominance to calculated control, this video explores two incredible 200-meter races. We analyze how Elaine Thompson-Herah and Gabby Thomas delivered winning performances and what their styles reveal about modern sprinting.
Favour Ofili of Nigeria, their national record holder, the 19-year-old, will start in lane number 6. Natalia White of Jamaica will start in 5, 8th in the 100-metre final here, 4th at the Jamaican National Championships this year over this distance. Christine Mboma from Namibia, the 19-year-old national record holder, has had her injury problems this year, but she's back, she's in this final and starts in 4. Beth Dobbin of Scotland. The line-up in lane number 3, a semi-finalist in the Olympics last year, the Scottish record holder, 22.5 at her best. And completing the line-up from the Gambia, Gina Bass, just outside 23 seconds in qualifying. She starts in lane number 2. So the final track action on this Saturday night. Bass, Dobbin, and Mboma, White. Ofili, Thompson-Herah, there she is, Connolly and McDonald. She won the 100 metres in 10.95 seconds. That was her first individual Commonwealth Games medal. The athlete that's done the double-double, the 100 and 200 metres at 2 Olympics in a row, is aiming to win the 200-metre title here. Still shouts from fans around the crowd. But a clean start. Thompson-Herah has got out nicely in lane number 7. She's took the stagger from Connolly outside of her. She's eating it up, the Jamaican. Thompson-Herah into the home straight. Ofili, the Nigerian, in second in the lane inside of her. And Mboma's going to get the bronze. Keep your eye on the clock. 22.02 seconds. I thought it was under threat, and she's taken the game's record off Sinead Miller-Weibo. A plus 0.6 metre wind. It was brilliant from Elaine Thompson-Herah, and now she's the double Commonwealth champion. She got exactly what she wanted here in Birmingham. Ofili picks up the silver, and Mboma the bronze. Both games' records have gone in the 200 metres, Steph, evening on the track.
Well, something about running at night here, it's just been magical. And do you know what? It wasn't that dramatic in the end. It pretty much went to script. Elaine made her presence known on the bend, and the race really was, in the end, for the silver and the bronze. And I'm just so pleased for her. You know, perhaps she didn't have the championship. Perhaps she didn't have the championships that she wanted in Eugene, but she has come back. And she has finished her season on her terms. You can see her third from the left in the screen. And you can, I mean, just in those first 20 meters, her stall was set out. The moment she was gone around that bend, no one was going to catch her. But the interesting battle was happening at the back as Christine Mboma we didn't really know what she was going to do. As you say, she was coming back from injury. Her very first 200, really, that we'd seen her in was in the heats. But Favour Ofili managed to hold her off for that silver medal.
It was a huge win in the end. Such is the class of Elaine Thompson-Herah. And it means a lot for an athlete that has everything. Her house just sparkles of pure gold back in Jamaica. And as we said at the start of tonight's broadcast, Jamaican Independence Day today, and they've had a storming session here again in Birmingham. It was never in doubt, as you say, Steph. She went round the bend. She held her form wonderfully well. At her best, 21.53, but 22.02 tonight, and the gold medal.
Asher Smith, former world champion, 2019 in Doha, when she was right at the top of her game. Still a world force in 200 and 100 metre running. British record holder. The Olympic champion, Gabby Thomas, serenely made her way through the rounds in Paris, had such a great season last year. Really looking forward to seeing a race here. The previously mentioned Nasser of Bahrain last weekend in the Dominican Republic. She ran the quickest 400 in the world yet this year. Yes, it's early, but she's in good form. Then we've got Nikisha Price, the first Jamaican ever to run under 49 seconds. And again, a pretty decent 200-meter runner, but this is not her main event. Same for Alexis Holmes. Her top 9 times out of her top 10 were all set in 2024. So an improving athlete, 25-year-old, as I said, come over after the World Indoor Championships in China. Well, Paulino, who moved to the 400, I guess probably in around about 2020, and has dominated that event, certainly last year. Talitha Diggs in lane 2. And then Stacey Ann Williams of Jamaica. Fresh from a new indoor 400 personal best. Lane 1 may be tough in this 200 then. Hansen, what we're looking for here?
Well, Paulino needs to at least come out of here with at least 5 points, because obviously to win, you get a little boost with the 12 points to win the deuce. Gabby and Dina are really going to be battling for that, and I think that they know that they're going to have a good chance at that 100K if they jump out in front with the points in this early race. Spoke to Dina like yesterday, and Dina actually said that she's really focused on that 4. Very confident about her too. So that 400 is going to be something special when she gets out there.
Dina Asher-Smith in lane 8. Gabby Thomas, Olympic champion, in 7. Safely away first time. Asher-Smith got out pretty good. Natson just got left a little bit. You'd expect that by the 2 sprinters on the outside. But it's Gabby Thomas around the top end, who's just got half a metre on Dina Asher-Smith. And Thomas normally starts to go away from this point. Natson running well in 3rd at the moment. And then there's a battle with Paulino charging down the last 30-40, but it's going to be Gabby Thomas. Asher-Smith might just hang on here. It's Gabby Thomas, but Paulino with a real surge, taking 2nd place, and that will be really, really significant. We expected Gabby Thomas to come away with a win, 22.62 in these conditions. That's pretty swift, that's pretty good. But Paulino, that is significant. You get 12 points for winning, you get 8 points for 2nd. But when we cast this forward to the 400 tomorrow and the possible result there, let's say the possible result, that is significant for Paulino.
Nah, it's absolutely significant, because she's obviously going to do her thing in the 4. For her to come 2nd, I didn't expect that, man. Gabby getting 1st place obviously makes sense. She's an Olympic champion, but for Paulino to come out of there with those extra points, she's going to end up having a good chance at that 100K.
Dina always runs a pretty good turn, transition at the home straight here. Gabby Thomas just moved away, just got that gap, and it looked as though Dina was rallying again here.
You know what? Gabby ran a much better turn than I expected. She's tall. You don't expect the taller sprinters to have such a good turn, but she's efficient. And once she gets on the straightaway and lets those limbs go, I mean, she's really, really hard to beat. I expected it to be a lot tighter with her, Dina. And that wasn't the case, but Paulino coming 2nd in that race, I think, is the big story.
Well, and so much hype has been on Gabby Thomas since the Olympics, and then since she announced early on that she was going to be running this series of Grand Slams. So look at that huge smile. She must feel really good breaking the tape.
You know what?
Well, you know, the expected winner, but not expected 2nd. Let's just check the result there. 22.62, as I mentioned, 22.93. It's the season's best because she hasn't raced yet for Paulino.
Right.
But the more significant thing for her is finishing 2nd. Dina Asher-Smith took 3rd spot.
The women's 200 meters has long been a stage where greatness is not just measured by times, but by dominance, composure, and the ability to deliver under pressure. 2 performances, Elaine Thompson-Herah's commanding victory at the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham and Gabby Thomas's controlled triumph at the Grand Slam meet in Kingston, offer a fascinating comparison between 2 different expressions of sprinting excellence. In Birmingham, Elaine Thompson-Herah delivered a performance that felt almost inevitable from the moment she settled into her stride. Running from lane 7, she attacked the race with controlled aggression, quickly eating into the stagger and establishing superiority before even entering the home straight. Her transition off the curve was seamless, a hallmark of her sprinting technique, allowing her to maintain maximum velocity without visible strain. Crossing the line in 22.02 seconds, she didn't just win, she imposed herself on the field. The result was a new Commonwealth Games record, underlining both her technical precision and her championship pedigree. What made that race particularly compelling was the quality of competition behind her. Athletes like Favour Offaly and Christine Mboma pushed hard, each bringing their own strengths. Offaly with her late-race resilience and Mboma with her raw speed endurance. Yet neither could truly threaten Thompson-Herah once she reached top gear. Even her compatriot Natasha Morrison, a strong and experienced sprinter, was left chasing from an early stage. Elaine's race was less about reacting and more about dictating, a clear sign of an athlete operating at the peak of her powers. In contrast, Gabby Thomas's victory in Kingston showcased a different kind of control, one built on patience, rhythm, and tactical awareness. Also starting from lane 7, Thomas executed her race with calculated precision. She didn't explode out of the blocks in the same aggressive fashion as Thompson-Herah, but instead focused on building momentum through the curve. By the midpoint of the bend, she had already positioned herself as the athlete to beat. Dina Asher-Smith provided the primary challenge in this race, applying pressure early and attempting to match Thomas stride for stride. However, the difference became clear in the final 100 meters. Thomas's upright running style, often seen as a potential limitation on the curve, proved to be an advantage on the straight. Her long, efficient strides allowed her to accelerate smoothly, separating herself decisively in the closing stages. She crossed the line in 22.62 seconds, slower than Thompson-Herah's Birmingham mark, but achieved under less optimal conditions and within a different competitive context. The contrast between these two races highlights not just differences in time, but differences in racing philosophy. Thompson-Herah thrives on immediate dominance. Her races are often decided within the first half, where her explosive speed and technical mastery on the curve create gaps that others cannot close. Thomas, on the other hand, builds her races progressively, relying on her top-end speed and efficiency in the latter stages to break her competitors. Another key distinction lies in experience and legacy. Thompson-Herah entered Birmingham as a proven global champion, already having secured Olympic double titles in both Rio 2016 and Tokyo 2021. Her performance carried the weight of expectation, and she responded with authority. Thomas, while already an Olympic medalist, is still shaping her legacy in the 200 meters. Her Kingston run was less about reaffirming dominance and more about reinforcing her position among the world's elite. Yet despite these differences, both performances share a common thread: control. Neither athlete appeared rushed or strained. Both executed their race plans with clarity and confidence, demonstrating a deep understanding of their strengths. Whether it was Thompson-Herah dismantling the field with relentless speed or Thomas methodically pulling away in the final meters, each race served as a reminder of how the 200 meters can be won in multiple ways. Ultimately, these two performances don't just tell the story of individual victories. They illustrate the evolving landscape of women's sprinting. One represents established greatness at its peak, the other signals a new generation steadily rising. And when these styles and athletes eventually collide on the same stage, the result promises to be nothing short of spectacular.